Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We are getting back into Love is Blind season 7. We are now on episode 7 called Truth Bombs. So everyone seems to be waking up happy in this episode, but we know the drama is going to unfold as it normally does, because this season, I'ma have to say, of Love is Blind is an absolute rotten train wreck, to be honest with you. Anyway, before I get into this video, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and do all the good things that you do, because you know I am on the road to 1K. Anyway, so Hannah asks Nick if there is anything that they need to work on. Nick says that sometimes he can be a little bit selfish. I think they both can, in my view, at the end of the day. He said sometimes he should think before he says things. And I'm like, yeah, Nick, because sometimes you say things to Hannah in retaliation to what she has said or does, which don't necessarily bode well. Nick needs to quit being such a damn flirt bag with all the women, because that ain't got unnoticed at the end of the day. So Hannah says she thinks she needs to work on being less bitchy, and that sometimes Nick frustrates her. I said that's because Nick doesn't fit the mold of the man that she likes, full stop. Let's just call a book. She says she loves this man, but I don't see it. I really don't half the time. Sometimes the way that she talks to him is mad condescending. It's horrible. So you see Marissa and Ramsey's go on a date on a boat. She talks to Ramses about being in the Navy and that basically she loves the sea. It was a good date, to be fair, nothing to write home about. So you see Tim and basically says he thought he was going home, as they still need to try and rectify what they would do right now. So this is in regards to the fallout that Alex and Tim had. I'm telling you that these two just battle. So Tim is willing to explore further, as Alex apologised and was willing to listen to him. So Alex is happy with that. Again, this is a man who has to have a woman kowtow to what it is that he wants when he wants it. If it doesn't happen when he wants it, then he won't allow grace to the other person to be able to fulfill that need at a later date. He just won't allow that. Tim is very petty and very immature at times too. So Alex says she genuinely loves Tim and wants to get married to him, and Tim says hopefully they will get married. They are currently on different pages. My question would be, is something like this reared its head again, and they were married, how would they actually deal with it? Will Tim continue to shut down and literally walk away rather than sit and communicate what it is that he wants and needs from this situation? And will Alex continue to battle with him? I just don't know. So then we see Ashley and Tyler go camel riding. So basically Ashley says she can see herself getting married tomorrow, and she put heaps on not finding a guy like Tyler ever. And I was like, really? They talk about wanting to come up with their own traditions. So I've not seen these two actually talk about anything serious at all yet. They're talking about kids, and Tyler's talking about doing a deep dive with old Christmas movies, and Ashley says, you are talking my language. Of course Tyler would talk Ashley's language. He's been chatting like there is no tomorrow. He has been getting to know the essence of who Ashley is, basically, and being able to navigate through what he needs to do in order to get to his end goal, basically. So Ashley doesn't really do any deep dives with Tyler. She says they're good communicators, but I don't get that. I don't get that it's a two-way street with them two. I think Tyler's the one that chats your freaking nubbing off to the core, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, everything he says is taken at face value by Ashley, and it's not led into any, as I said, any kind of deep dive, like from Ashley's point of view. That's how I see it anyway. So Hannah and Nick do bungee jumping. Nick is basically fearless. He just jumped straight off. But he's not ready to die yet, but yet he still jumped off and did his little thing. It was Hannah's turn and she did it too. More power to her. Them two are not so bad together, but they are very immature as each other, to be honest with you. Very immature as each other. I don't know how it's going to work out with these two, like, seriously, because sometimes they can be on different pages themselves as well. And I think, as I said before, Hannah can literally be quite overbearing with Nick and not give him enough grace in which to work things out for himself. So Taylor and Garrett go glass blowing watching. And you see Monica and Stephen going on their date. So Monica wants flowers from Stephen and is basically wanting the actions to match up with his words of what he said he would do in the pods. Monica, Stephen is not going to give you what you want. And the fact that you have to ask him for flowers or that type of accolade or whatever you want to call it is beyond me, to be honest with you. My thing is Stephen is bogus. He basically said what he said in the pods was a concept. And I was like, oh, Will and come and get my selector. I didn't hear that right at all. What he said about giving flowers to a partner or X, Y, and Z was a concept. So Monica is literally trying to sell this to Stephen. And I'm just like, my girl, even if it is one of your love languages in terms of gift giving, Stephen don't rightfully care. Like, he just turned up and said gifts is his last. Like, he don't care. This man will double down until the cows come home as to why he's not going to give you what it is that you are asking for. This whole conversation was nuts to me, like absolutely nuts. Of course, Stephen comes in with, oh, you're right. He always says that when stuff gets too hard for him, like he doesn't have a ready answer for it. He can't talk his way around it, basically. He turns around and he says to Monica to appease her, he dropped the ball on this one. I don't think this will be the first time that this man drops the ball on anything, because Stephen clearly has issues. Yeah, I really don't like this man. Like, I honestly really don't like this man. So Monica brings up him writing like her appearing and quoting someone to her, and those things melted her hearts in the pods. He was trying to impress you, my love. End goal was to get someone to be engaged to literally carry on with the rest of this show. That's what that boiled down to. He did this so all the other stuff you won't see. Like, seriously, this man was just playing a part. That's what he was doing. And begging him for flowers just ain't it. Like, seriously, I get you want to remind a person as time goes on in a relationship, but this just showed Stephen is not really a man of his word at all. We'll see how long this takes for him to rectify the situation. Do you know what I mean? So Stephen says he doesn't want to disappoint Monica, and it's a lot moving forward with the marriage. It's a massive decision. And I'm like, well, no shit, Sherlock, but where did this conversation come from? Because this just came out of nowhere that, you know, Stephen's now starting to show serious doubts about wanting to get married to Monica. I'm just kind of like, well, why did you sign up for the show? As you know what the end goal is here at the end of the day. So if you're not serious about it, don't do it. Simple. But don't take that woman to the altar and embarrass her in front of everybody. That's all I was going to say at this point. So Stephen basically says that he will feel forced into getting Monica flowers, basically. So I just thought, well, how did this conversation turn so suddenly into I'm having second thoughts? Dude, Monica asked for the bare minimum in terms of flowers. I was like, bloody hell. Monica's seriously not reading into this man's behaviours, or at least seriously thinking that if I really love this man, or if he really loves me, because Stephen is off. Stephen is absolutely off. Like, seriously off into the hemisphere somewhere over there. So anyway, so Monica does interrupt him to ask if he's having second thoughts. Even though he says he isn't, man wouldn't even give her eye contact. Monica is basically saying that she's hella confused. He's saying that he's not afraid to marry her and he's in love with her and he's not second guessing being with her. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You could have fooled me because Stephen is not doing a good job of convincing Monica that he don't want to marry her at all at this moment in time. So Monica calls Stephen out and I'm like at long bloody last because she turns around and she says to him, are you fucking kidding me? You said I'm in love with you and I want to marry you. You knew what this was. But I will say that Stephen has been showing some signs to Monica that she keeps missing from the pods that he didn't want to be in this experience to the end. He's been showing those signs. Like seriously, he's been showing full on red flags to this girl, but she ignored them and she accepted him as he is. People will say what the mess they like in them pods as long as they can convince the other person that they are true in their intentions. None of these people have shown me anything that seems I'm here for the long haul and I'm here to find my partner for life. Not like the blueprints of the show, not like the Hamilton Speeds, not like the Bartletts, Amber and Barnett, not like the Browns. You got Chelsea and Kwame, you got Zach and Bliss, you got Alexa and Brennan, you've even got down to Milton and what's the girl's one from, not the last one, but the last one before. You know who I'm talking about. They're still together after all this time. So we know it can work when people are on the same page and not looking for glory and fame or think that they can get it on a show like this at the end of the day. So Monica was hoping that these were things Stephen would have thought about or thought through before being so sure in asking her to marry him. I don't want to put it all on Monica, yeah. But did you ask him though? Did you ask him if he was so sure before he asked you to marry him? Like, even when he got down on bended knee, did you ask him to? Because you didn't. Or did you fall for his chats? Not see much of, like, the past at all in that. As it would be natural to have cold feet, but Stephen is on something else. Even I can see that. Stephen does look hella upset though, I will say that, when he was having this conversation. And all I kept on thinking was, is what's eating at you, Stephen? What needs to come out? Because it looks like it's very much eating you all the way up. So we get to Tim and Alex. All I'm gonna say is they are off. I ain't gonna lie. Alex is trying to be light and airy, and Tim is just a little bit bleh. Every time that Alex talks, he's just flat, monotone. And I just think, okay, so things have changed for them from this moment, from the time that they've had this little outburst. Things have definitely changed for Tim. And Alex is trying so hard to get it back on track, but I don't think she's going to. I think it's going to be derailed a lot again. I really do. But we'll see what happens next. They ain't aggressively bantering like they normally do, but Tim is saying that he wants to start anew again. He says he will move back into the room with Alex. Alex is happy about that. So he basically says we cross that bridge, and if we can get across that in terms of the activities that they were doing, then we'll be all right. But did you really deal with the issues? Because I have a feeling that Tim will constantly do this type of shit where he will literally run from his emotions, or he'll, as I said, he'll be petty, or he'll not be happy with certain things that are not going his way. And when it's not going his way, or Alex is not doing something that he expressly wants her to do at a certain time, he's not going to like it, and it will start this ball rolling over again, because I think he wants Alex to jump through hoops, basically. So Alex will have to deal in a different way in how to deal with her issues. in ensuring that Tim is aware on how she feels, and basically if it's not about him, to give him that reassurance so then he can give her that space if she needs to work through something on her own. Yeah, I still ain't seeing it with them. And if the do is gonna shock the hell out of me, let me put it this way. So then you get the dinner together with the couples. So Hannah is feeling like she's teaching Nick a lot of things. And this is what I mean when she's so condescending of her man like this. Like, seriously, I do think, I don't know whether she loves him. Because again, I don't see it. Everyone has just this view of Nick from the pods, and Hannah doesn't offer him no protection when she's around the girls. They just take Nick as a full-on joke. Like, seriously, they really do. So Alex told Ashley and Monica about what happened with her and Tim. So Monica tried to corral Stephen to watch the fireworks because all the other couples were going out to watch the fireworks. But at that time, I think Stephen was speaking to Garrett, having a proper conversation with Garrett. He didn't really acknowledge Monica, just said, yeah, I'll come. And she walked off with the others and he stayed back to chat. I think Stephen really just wanted to be on his own and have this conversation with Garrett. And it looked like he was having a whole good old chinwag, and it looked proper heavy. I don't like how Monica came interrupting him though, sarcastically saying it was romantic, but she was holding on to other people. I mean, to be fair with you, they don't have to be up each other's arses 24/7 at the end of the day. Stephen looked like he really needed someone to talk to at that moment in time. So I kind of think Monica will talk her way out of Stephen's affections, because I mean, let's face it, Stephen don't want Monica really. He doesn't have any good intentions. Monica carries on pissed in the fact that, you know, he didn't come out and watch the fireworks with her and be all coupley with her at the end of the day. So she says to the girls that everything Stephen is doing right now is pissing her off. I honestly believe that Monica was a mean girl in a past life. And I also honestly believe that right now Monica is rude and acting hella immature, like proper immature. She likes to think that she's this adult that, you know, likes to say or be direct and be forward, but in the way that she's acting is actually quite rude and immature, to be honest. So Stephen comes over and says, are we good? And she says, yes, I love you. And I'm just like, you know what, don't do that. Don't use love like that in a sentence when you obviously are not good. Yeah, you're pissed off and you right at this minute don't love that man, but yet you're gonna say it just to save face. But the other girls say he's so scared of her, and he is, you know. Stephen was scared of her, and that's what I mean. That type of shit ain't funny to me. It ain't about making the other person feel scared, because as soon as you go down that avenue, they will not be able to approach you and be open with you or speak to you about anything that is literally bothering them, because they fear the consequence of your fucking reaction to it. At the end of the day, you can kind of see that Stephen is walking on a little bit of eggshells when it comes to Monica, and only checks in with Monica because he wants them to be on good terms. But the way he went over, he was not sure at all if he should approach or not, because he knew that she was pissed. I'm all for women saying what they want and what they will accept, but in scaring someone to do your bidding is not a good relationship makes at the end of the day. So Stephen blames Garrett for ruining the moment for him and Monica. While Tyler is sat there, he says Garrett wanted to chat with him and it was serious. And I thought, are you taking the piss, Stephen? You literally threw Garrett under the bus when actuality it was you who wanted to speak to Garrett for advice. I was like, yeah, nah, Stephen is for the birds and damn liar. So Stephen really turns to Tyler to tell her, your man and I were having a serious moment about something. So now he's thrown other couples into his BS. And here goes Stephen with his chat to get himself out of trouble. And Stephen keeps going and going and going. Monica begins to rudely huff and puff. That annoys the fuck out of me when people do that. And I was just like, girl, you knew what you signed up for when you decided to say yes to this man, so let it the fuck go. This man is known to chat a lot. So Stephen says out of nowhere, there are home wreckers out there that say, I don't care about your situation, what your situation is, I want to suck your dick. Stephen, I was like, are you telling on yourself, my guy? Because how did you get there? I'm still working out the road this man travelled for real. So hopefully you can see this, yeah. So this is Stephen here. So rather than Stephen going down here to get to the point, yeah, Stephen does a detour over here where it makes no sense. Does another one, joins it up to another detour, makes no sense. Goes back towards the point, doesn't directly get there, goes back to make no sense, and then gets to the point. Yeah, that's what Stephen does. That's essentially what Stephen does at the end of the day. So we have Stephen, Monica, and Taylor. So Monica asks him, are you getting your dick sucked by another woman? He says no. Huh, okay. And then he talks about how you'll be tempted in a situation you've never been tempted before. My guy, you are literally snitching on yourself right now. Ain't no way he ain't. Ain't no way he ain't. So Monica at that point had had enough of Stephen and his chat, gets up and walks off. But Stephen does not end like at all this conversation. He keeps on going. I was just like, I just really don't. But even as Monica turns away, he does end up turning to Tyler and saying, not once have I questioned how I feel about this woman. I thought after that whole fucking deggery of a chat, my love, you questioned everything you felt about that woman at the end of the day. You literally were sending a full-on message to this woman that you are messing about. Like, seriously. Alex and Tim are talking, and Alex said she's scared to live with Tim, and I think Tim will be scared to live with her too. They really do have a different style of their own in terms of communication. So again, I'm going to see how this works out for them, because I really don't see it truly working out for them. You see Monica and Stephen, this is when they're all going to bed. She really does look at him like she cannot stand this man. Like, I've seen the way that she looks at she looks at Stephen quite a few times, and it looks like she really can't stand this man. And I'm just wondering, why are you still here, and why are you still telling this man you love him when you don't? I don't understand it. So you see Garrett and Taylor, and she basically thanked him for being patient, for going at her pace, because, you know, they haven't had sex at all. They don't want to muddy the waters in regards to that. They literally want to be honest and open on where it is that they're going to go, and sex can mess with that, basically, and they don't want that. He says basically that their pace is just right. And I was like, but that's good. I mean, it ain't like these women ain't giving these men the out that they need, basically, but they always continue to say no, everything's fine. So they all go back to DC. So here comes real world time. So Hannah has her dog coming. So Nick kindly says, if you want me to work that out with you, like 50-50. And she says to Nick, oh, probably every day. And I thought, hell no, it's your dog, love, you deal with it. I do think Hannah was joking at that point. Hannah really thinks that Nick is a boy. He appeared to get offended by that, and I would too. She basically says that she's not going to have to tell you to do stuff like take the trash out. If you see it needs taking out, then take it out. So Nick basically says to her, hold on a second. Do you honestly believe that if I saw that the bin was full of rubbish, that I would not take that shit out? Like, seriously, do you think Nick is that stupid? I was just like, at least now she'll be able to see what he's like around the house and see if he's house trained before you start neggering at this man already, for goodness sake. Hannah thinks she's more mature than Nick and thinks she's more emotionally intelligent. I would say, yeah, right, pull the freaking other one. Of all the stuff I saw in the pods between Hannah and the girls, and then with Leo and Hannah ain't emotionally intelligent at all. She's easily swayed into decisions she didn't want to make. So Hannah says she's so independent, like it's my way or the highway. I don't think Nick will let Hannah run all over him. He will watch her try and zap her with his one-liners that he seems to love to do quite a bit. They are both immature as each other, as I've already said. So we go to Monica and Stephen, and they're liking the place that they're in. They talk about hosting a party in the flat, and of course Monica goes in again by, are you going to buy flowers? I mean, this is getting embarrassing at this point for her, because Stephen just grabs Monica's hand and fully ignores what the fuck she just said. I was like, damn girl, that told you. Hounding Stephen to get flowers won't work, because even if he got them, it won't have the same feeling as if he got them out of nowhere just because. Do you know what I mean? Because it would be, he got them because you, Monica, pressed him the fuck into it. So Monica still doesn't stop. She still manages to throw in the flowers on a shopping list, and I thought, Monica, what the fuck is wrong with you right now? Stephen is clearly ignoring you on bloody purpose. If Stephen wanted to really show his affection to Monica, he would do it, but he won't, because he don't. Monica lists the flowers that she likes. At this point, I'm like, Monica, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously. Like, really just shush, because it's getting old and it's getting boring now. You shouldn't have to beg this hard to get something from a man. If he really wants to do it, if he heard how you spoke in those pods and what it is that you like, what your love languages are like, even throughout the honeymoon period, what your love language is like, and he still hasn't met them, he ain't the man for you. He really is not. I've noticed Monica will say I love you to Stephen a lot. He will reciprocate, yeah. But the only time he said it without Monica saying it first was in the pods. He doesn't actually say it off his own back to her. It's Monica saying to him kind of like she needs that constant reassurance from him. And that's going to get old very, very, very freaking quickly. So you see Taylor and Garrett, so they get the phones back, and basically they sit there and have these mature conversations about each other's social media. So they swap over phones and have a look at them. Garrett seems to be convincing that his posts on Instagram literally are mostly about fish, and I was like, well, was that you about that? And it was literally about fish. It was so tame, both of theirs and everything. There were no issues. That's all I can say about them two. They do work together. They really do. If there has to be one wedding that happens where both of them say yes, I just hope it's Taylor and Garrett. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So we see Alex and Tim. And basically they're getting ready, they're talking about the bed and everything like that. Already this man does not want to cuddle because he says he sleeps hot. I'm not a cuddler myself either, to be honest with you. And after a bit, it gets annoying because I need my own space in bed. But that doesn't mean to say I won't allow someone to be my big spoon to my small spoon sometimes. Do you know what I mean? They just work so opposite to each other that I again, wondering how it will work. They say opposites attract, but not for them too. So we see Ashley and Tyler does the night of prayer. Tyler does my head in. I don't even know, because I haven't got to the rest of the episode yet, but I don't even know why he does my head in. But this man just either cries so much or he chats too damn much, yeah. And Ashley just literally just feeds in to his bog standard bullshit. Anyway, we go to Marissa and Ramsey's, and they honestly do look like brother and sister, which is really, really bad. So Marissa was talking about how she would like a black wedding if they got married. But to be fair, I want a black wedding too, because all I would have is it would be accented with silver and crystal, and I've always wanted a black dress too. So I do kind of see where Marissa is coming from, because it is something from the norm. But I would have my bridesmaids all styled in different types of styles of dress or suit that suits them, but it would be in white. Except Marissa was basically thinking that she wants her guests all to wear black, and her and Ramsey's will bring the white. We'll see how that goes down. So Garrett and Taylor go to meet his family. So she meets his mum, his dad, his niece, his sister and nephew. And it looks like the whole family turned up, basically. Taylor does kind of fit in with them. I think the mum was a little bit standoffish, or although she's talking a lot and making Taylor feel comfortable in her home, it was more so her facial expressions for me. The looks was saying what her mouth wasn't saying, basically, essentially. The dad is just fully in. He's fully chatty. The sister does ask Taylor how it will work, as she understood that her parents weren't really on board with this. So basically Taylor does tell them that they are worried about the cameras coming to their home, and I don't blame them, to be honest with you. Taylor does say that they know it's important to her, and she didn't just meet some guy, as in talking about Garrett. But you kind of did. You didn't know Garrett from Adam until this show at the end of the day. So Garrett does eloquently explain to his family why he chose Taylor and what they are like together. His mother is watching him closely. And Garrett dropped in that, that Taylor got her master's from a prestigious university. And this was I think this was like his way of saying, look, Ma, I did good. Can I keep her, sort of thing. So here comes the mother warning. And when I see the tears come, and she was holding back in that she doesn't want to see her son get hurt, and quickly tagged on, I don't want to see Taylor get hurt either, but I don't think she really cares about Taylor's feelings at that point. As at the end of the day, Garrett's her son and he will be her main priority. So his mum is completely worried that this whole process is way too fast. And this is the thing, I don't think people consider how fast this process is. And to be fair, they have an out all the way up to the altar if they want to. All I can say is that Taylor did good when she did her chat with the family, and she spoke from the heart. She didn't falter, and she put the family at ease. They have decided her and Garrett will make the best decisions for both of them as they are realistic, and they both, or either one of them, could say no at the altar is what they told the family. They're both realistic in that view. So Ramses and Marissa was at home. He was cooking and she came in from work. Love it. Love the dynamic. He basically does work from home though. So the commute for Marissa was a lot. So Ramses is a bit more flexible in that he can move to where she is, so that's not going to be an issue for them. She said if he wasn't willing to move, she didn't think it could work between them. So basically Ramses cooked noodles and them fuckers were hard as fucking nails. He didn't cook them all the way through, but they continued to fucking eat them. So Marissa basically was talking about the wedding and talks about how she wants a woman to marry them that is spiritual. Marissa says, because Ramsey's mum is still Christian, will she be mad if she doesn't see a Christian element in there? Marissa did think that she would get married essentially in a Mormon temple. She said, when God is white in a church and you were taught white religion, it is coming from a men-centric perspective. For Ramses, basically he left Christianity because he just felt that he felt off in respect of that religion as he started to grow up, and he had a lot of questions. I do like that Ramses and Marissa are not afraid to talk about the issues, their experiences in religion. They're from two different backgrounds and perspective. Then Marissa started talking about the brainwashing that goes on in the military and what her belief system was at the time. So Marissa basically said that she was very, very patriotic. You can see Ramses go, sort of thing, because Ramses doesn't like that kind of talk at all. So Ramses does ask her where she is with that, as his views do greatly differ from hers. And sometimes when someone says that they're patriotic, automatically you need to know in what way and why. So as the words patriotic basically has been co-opted by not so good people with nefarious intentions and organisations basically that do wish to do significant harm to minorities. So of course Ramses is going to ask these questions. So basically Ramses brought up James Baldwin and the quotes that he made, and I love it. And I think that right now they're both going to be at a sticking point at this juncture, because Marissa does support the military, as she says, the people in the military, but Ramses isn't completely sold, as they are sacrificing to destabilize countries and kill people, basically. So what is it essentially Ramses is trying to say you're supporting them in doing? So Marissa is really trying to get Ramses to see her point of view, and I think he does to a point, but they both have strong views on it, and they're both at different ends of the board on this one. I don't know if they'll be able to come together anytime soon on it. It was a hard talk for real, and I think that this military stance that they both have will be the demise of them both, as I don't think Ramses will be able to push his principles onto the side. And Marissa said, I don't think I could handle you not being proud of my service. Ramses was silent for a bit, and he did say, I cannot make another person feel ashamed of what they did in the past as long as it's in the past, because he doesn't want her to re-enlist or go to, like, have to go into the military again. And I think, well, I think that answers a lot on where Ramses' stance is, to be honest with you. Marissa did then say that she did try out for the reserves, and I think she said, but she didn't want to go back into that environment and left. So she did turn around and say to Ramses, like, you know, if I had gone back into the reserves, this wouldn't have happened between us. You probably wouldn't get married to me, would you? And he said, no, definitely not. So I thought, yes, this night is going downhill very quickly, but it's something they needed to discuss and talk about, because it was an elephant in the room for them both. Ramses is not going to budge on his values and morals, and where he stands when it comes to military. So I was just kind of thinking that, would they be able to get over a hurdle this wide? I do not know, and will it rear its ugly head again? But this is where this episode ended, and I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. All I do ask is you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, so you know when I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and do all the good things that you do. And I'll be back in quick succession, people. Peace out.